Hey folks, it's Elle. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Elle, and I am prepping for my first ever bikini fitness competition. And I've started to chronicle my journey. And one of the big things that came up in the beginning of my journey was that I had a couple of injuries that took place outside of the gym, but obviously impacted my performance inside the gym. And they were pretty significant, so much so that I thought it may not hurt to make a video about them. Because maybe you've been through similar injuries, or maybe you have family or friends who've been through these. And they took up the bulk of my year in recovery. And I'm just gonna get into it because I was so gung-ho about setting a date and beginning prep, and I still am, but then I almost got sidelined by the injuries. And I've learned so much coming out from, I guess, suffering through them, and now that I'm in recovery and easing my way back into heavier workouts, more rigorous workouts, I just wanted to take some time to address them, because if you're active and you have the privilege to go to a gym and work out on a regular basis, injuries can become very easily like a part of your life and recovery. So let me just jump in. So the first injury I wanted to address was a near collapse of my arch on my left foot. What does that mean, like a near collapse? So the arch of my foot, my left foot, we all have like arches. Mine started to fail. It was exceptionally painful, and it's genetic. I have family that have had fallen arches, and in other words, it's also known as flat feet. So I was born with arches, and this is the second time my arch has actually tried to collapse. The first time was during the pandemic. And if we all remember back then, medical offices were kind of in influx, physical therapy offices, dental offices, all the medical offices, it was kind of touch and go. The appointments were just not many. Everyone was doing telemedicine. So at that time, I had to take it upon myself to kind of fix this issue that came out of nowhere for me at the time. I did research. I found out that it was, genetic, and I started to have to do kind of physical therapy, kind of like on my own, and see if that didn't fix it. And if not, then I'd have to kind of maybe think about surgery, because it's really that painful and it's really that obstructive. I think I saw a video on here that basically said that when your arch is collapsing, it basically is a malpositioning of your foot that makes the foot ineffective. And that's basically what I was going through. I couldn't quite walk properly. And, I guess when you have family and you have obligations and you have responsibilities, you kind of need your foot. And the foot is, when you have an arch that wants to collapse, you can't do the basic movements of the foot anymore. The heel, the ball, the toes. The heel, ball, toes. Heel, it doesn't do it. There is maybe some forced side foot action that's happening, because to place your foot on its heel, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a freaking 7, 8. 10 being I'm gonna have to go to it hurts too much. I have to go to the doctor, I have to go to urgent care. It's really painful. Um, so you can't quite walk. So you limp, um, you drag your foot. When you can, you hope to elevate your foot. You massage your foot. There's a lot of things, but you're not walking properly. It's not carrying your weight properly. So during the pandemic, I had to do a lot of ball therapy, which was like a lacrosse ball. I think sometimes people also use like a tennis ball or a golf ball. And the whole point is to kind of like massage your foot, the ligaments inside your foot, almost like back to the shape of how it should be. And it's very painful. You kind of skip a beat a little bit. Your heart skips a beat. You lose your breath a little bit because it's just so painful. You tear up. It's a thing. And I did that for weeks, if not, if not like months, in the hopes of avoiding surgery. Thankfully, it was successful. And everywhere I would go, I was in California at the time. I even traveled up to San Francisco. I was in Southern California. We went up north. And I was doing physical therapy up there, with resistance bands. And yeah, it was crazy. But I was able to avoid surgery back then. Now, where we live, I have wooden floors. And one of my greatest joys, it's a small joy, but I love walking barefoot. It's one of those things that relaxes me, or relaxed me. It's just one of those little things, which actually turned out to be a big thing. My arch collapsed here for a second time. The first time during the pandemic, it collapsed and I was able to get back on my feet, both my feet, in about 3 months. This arch collapse was worse. It pretty much took away 4 months of my time. And it came to a head during my vacation. So I posted here a few vlogs when I took a trip to Southern Florida. In the middle of that trip, I was at my all-time worst pain. It was horrible. And it was so bad that we had to stop the trip like during a moment, and I had to buy all new footwear while I was on vacation. At some point in the vacation, I was crying. So much pain. I was limping. I was walking slowly, and something needed to be done. So thankfully, and coincidentally, we were near a store that sold medical grade shoes. So, and I don't want to make this video too long, so maybe this will be the first video of my arch injury, and then my second video will be about my tendon injury in my right forearm. But anyhow, at this store, I was able to buy new running shoes because they informed me that even when I was trying to walk, like on the treadmill, during the moments of the day that I was in no pain, I was walking in the types of shoes that would continue to allow my arch to fall apart, like to collapse, as opposed to propping it up. I needed arch support specific shoes. So I was able on the spot to grab about running shoes, and I was able to get sandals, and I was able to get massage sandals. The specific ones I got were Kenko. Again, I guess you guys know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not offering any medical advice. This is just a story of how I came out of the other side from a near collapse of my arch. And they explained to me, they were the best store, amazing store. And they explained to me that my foot just was not, the biomechanics of my foot was failing due to genetics. So, and I needed shoes that provided much more arch support. When I know, it didn't matter if I was on the treadmill. It didn't matter if I was just at home chilling in my pajamas. It didn't matter if I was going to go check the mail. It didn't matter if I was going to go grocery shopping. My foot needed constant arch support. So I was able to grab this is a non-endorsed video, but I was able to grab Brooks shoes there that had arch support, that had GTS, I think it's called. Those have been very helpful for me. I was able to purchase Kenko massage sandals there that are really good. Again, this is non-sponsored, and if you are suffering from something, please go to your doctor, because as we had to learn, the foot is like, it's like a machine. It's very biomechanical, and all our feet are very different. They all fall very different with our weight, our gait, genetics. Everything has to be considered. So I also got, I think it's the Taos sandals for support. And I feel so much better. It's taken, we've been back home since the vacation for about maybe 3 weeks. And I went from a pain of like 8 to no pain. Sometimes I get cramps in the foot, but they go away. And I'm able to go really ham, go ham at the gym, and not be overtaken by pain. So yeah, that was my arch issue. If you have any questions, please drop them below. I just felt compelled to make this video about this particular issue because it held me out of the gym, and feet are pretty important. And I just didn't want to kind of like not address the elephant in the room. It was a pretty significant injury, or genetic disposition, however you want to say it. But yeah, I mean, I have these shoes here, right? These are my GTS Brooks shoes. And like, as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, the arch isn't really like aggressive. It's not very like pronounced, because I need something that kind of stabilizes my arch more, keeps it more in place. So yeah, please, if you have any questions, drop them below. I just know that sometimes injuries can keep you out of the gym and out of reaching your goals. And I wanted to be transparent with how this happened to me, and how for like 4 months, from like February to June, how I struggled, and how I came out the other end getting a little bit more educated about my feet, what my feet specifically need, and how I have to address it. You know, I have my cardio shoes, and I also have my lifting shoes. For my lifting shoes, I ended up getting Reebok Nano shoes. Again, not sponsored. And the whole point is to stabilize my arch, so that I'm pain-free. So thank you so much for your patience, for listening to me ramble about this injury. And if you want to learn how I got over my forearm injury and how that happened, I'm going to make a video about that. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye.